California and back in the MR2. So a lot of you guys probably already know that I've been in California for a couple of weeks. I haven't made a new video until now because it's taken quite a while to get all that Europe footage edited and made into decent videos. I have a full-time job and just wasn't able to get all of those videos out right away. But yeah, I'm back here. It feels good. I've really missed this car. But it was cool to get all those experiences and get to drive some pretty cool new cars. And thinking about the experience of driving the 488 GTB as well as the Giulietta kind of got me thinking about what other cars have I driven. And I started making a list, and I sort of surprised myself when I realized just how many different cars I've actually driven, because I guess a lot of them just didn't stand out in my mind. But when I really started thinking about it, I was like, wow, okay, yeah, I've driven that, I guess I've driven that. And it's been in different circumstances. Some of them I've gotten to drive on track. Some of them I've sort of driven just around on the street for maybe a long period of time or short period of time. But anyway, I thought I'd share with you what cars I have gotten to drive, and I would like you guys to comment below on what cars you've gotten to drive. Maybe it's a long list, maybe it's not. And out of all those cars that you've driven, let me know which were like your top 3. So let's go ahead and get this started and see what cars I've driven. All right, so this is going to be in alphabetical order by manufacturer, not necessarily the order that I drove them in. I have driven the Acura Integra, the Alfa Romeo Giulietta, the Audi S4, that would be the one with the V8, a Chevy Silverado, some type of Ram truck, which I don't remember specifically what it was, the Ferrari 488 GTB, definitely a highlight, the Ford Fiesta, the Ford Fiesta ST, pretty awesome little car and quite quick. The Focus RS, one of my friends actually owns that, and I have to say it's a really cool car. I'm not sure it's one that I'd really want to own personally, but it's definitely very cool. The Ford Fusion, the Ford Mustang GT, the C-Max, which as far as like economy hybrids go, I would take that over the Prius. The Ford Raptor, ridiculous car, or truck rather. A GMC Safari, a Civic Si. Civic Si is definitely an overrated car. A Honda Fit Sport, extremely practical. A Honda Accord. A Hyundai Veloster, which was actually a car that I was considering getting instead of the Mazda 3 when I was shopping for it. Really nice car, but it just seemed to be a little overpriced for what it was actually offering, and I thought there was a lot more value in the Mazda 3. And some kind of Jeep 4x4, which I don't remember the specific model on that either. So I have to meet up with some friends for lunch. I just got here. We're gonna have some pizza, and I will get back to finishing that list with you in a second. Okay, so where did I leave off? The Jeep, I think. So I have, of course, driven the Lexus IS250, the Lexus ES350, and the RC350, which I really wanted to like because I love the way it looks. It seems like such a cool car, but it just wasn't that great. Kind of disappointing. The Mazda Speed 6, which is a really cool, unique car and pretty fast. Little fact about that, they only made it for 2 years. And of course the Mazda 3. which you already know what I think about that. If you haven't watched my review of it, you can see that here. And I've also driven the Mitsubishi Evo 10, which is an incredibly easy to drive car. When I was on track with that, it gives you like ridiculous confidence, maybe too much. So now I'm making a quick stop off at the post office, and we'll continue on in a second. I've driven a couple Mercedes as well, and the two of them could not have been more different. I've driven the C230, which was largely underwhelming, and I felt like Mercedes was really overrated, and the E63 AMG. And that car is pretty incredible. It made me a believer in AMG. For Nissan, I've driven a 240SX and a 370Z. That car was a lot of fun, very fast. And if I was looking for a brand new sports car, it would be on the short list probably. The only thing is, I just feel like it's kind of overpriced. I've also driven a Porsche Boxster, a Scion FRS, and frankly, I feel like that car gets too much crap for being slow. The Scion IQ, which was a car, believe it or not, that I was considering for a little while, just because it's so cheap and economical. The Smart car, which is another mid-engine actually. Absolutely horrific gearbox in it. A Subaru WRX, the current latest generation, which was pretty impressive. It was pretty quick, and it handled the mountain roads quite well that I drove it on. Although, I don't know, it was like, I don't remember exactly. I'm sure somebody in the comments will be able to correct me. But it's making somewhere around like, boy, people are really gonna murder me for this, but I think it's making around 250-ish horsepower, but it boosts at like up to like 24 PSI. And I'm like, how is it not making more power with that much boost? Either way though, it did seem like quite a good car. The Tesla Model S, really cool experience there. It did so many interesting things. I have a video that talks all about my thoughts on that, and you can see that here. And of course the MR2. And as far as variations, hold on. And as far as variations in the MR2, specifically, I've driven a stock NA MR2, a stock turbo MR2, which you can see my full review here, and of course my MR2. I've also driven the MR2 Spider or MRS. Hopefully I'll do a full review on that car. A Toyota Cressida. That was my dad's car back when I was a kid. That was a car that really was ahead of its time. A Prius C, a regular Prius, and finally a Volkswagen Jetta. So those are all the cars I've driven. I might be forgetting a couple, you never know. Again, let me know which cars you've driven in the comments below. Let me know which ones were your favorites. And now I'm going to drive this, and you'll see that in a video soon. Oh, I actually forgot one. Last weekend, I actually drove a Cadillac CTS-V coupe, and it was fast. I accidentally did a burnout.